We all know we're living in a time of knowledge explosion. Our smartphones are more powerful than the world's largest computers 50 years ago. And we all think this is a good thing. More knowledge is better, right? One person who's a cheerleader for the growth in knowledge is Steven Pinker. According to Pinker, our knowledge is growing, the knowledge and intelligence is growing exponentially. Average IQ scores have increased by 30 points over the past century, and over 83% of the world is literate compared to the 17th century when only an eighth of Western Europe can read and write. Now, let me ask you a question. Are we using our knowledge to make the world a better place? According to Steven Pinker, the answer is yes. He claims that our unlimited knowledge is what got us this far. He then goes on to explain that our knowledge has helped us to prolong our lives and invent technology that makes our lives easier. Pinker, however, fails to mention that in making our own lives easier, our knowledge has not been able to sustain the environment and put us on the verge of self-extinction. In fact, we have used our knowledge to create climate change, pollution, and build weapons of mass destruction. You can probably see from this graph that climate change is a huge problem. The sea level is rising at an alarming rate, and it has been predicted that by 2100, sea levels will have risen by 23 feet. That is enough water to submerge all of London. This will affect millions, or as some researchers state, billions of people across the world. Here's what makes it worse. By 2100, the population has been predicted to be around 11.2 billion. The land we have right now can just barely support 7 billion people. Now imagine what it will be like by 2100. With less land and more people, we can easily say that the future is screwed. This is all because of the way we have been using our knowledge. Now, something else that has been created by our knowledge is war. And to be completely honest, I think we have made a lot of progress on lessening wars, but it is still a problem that needs to be solved. More than 240,000 people have died during the Syrian war. And I know this is way less than the Vietnam War or World War II, but that is still 240,000 people dead. That is more than the entire population of Guam. And in today's society, this is completely unacceptable. Now, would this be happening if we hadn't used our knowledge to make weapons such as missiles, tanks, and guns? No. In fact, history's most destructive weapons, wars, like the Vietnam War, the Civil War, the Korean War, and World War II wouldn't have happened at all. Over the past century, billions of people have died from wars, and again, our knowledge is at fault. Now, just think about it. Pinker's claims don't seem so optimistic anymore, do they? So are we really using our knowledge to make the world a better place? No, not yet at least. But we can still make a change. Now before I talk about how we can make a change, I'd like to give you an example of someone who has already tried to make a change and uses vast knowledge to make a difference. A few years ago, Elon Musk invented the Tesla Powerwall, which is a battery that stores solar energy and can power an entire house. Lasts around 10 years and only costs a fraction of the amount a family uses on electricity per year. Elon Musk could have made a fortune out of this. Instead, he made the patents free, promising that Tesla won't sue anyone for using them. So he's using his vast knowledge to try and spread clean energy throughout the entire world. So how do we use our knowledge like Elon Musk? The answer is education. We gain knowledge from education, and the way we use our knowledge depends on how we get educated. Pinker states that we need to focus on secular and rationalistic studies. However, this is untrue. Unlike what Pinker says, education should lead more towards humanitarian ideals. For example, books like To Live or Lord of the Flies can teach us how to live and the dangers of corruption. And this is something math and chemistry cannot do. For this to happen, all schools should teach subjects like psychology, anthropology, or humanities in action. To help children understand what is best for humanity and to teach them how to use their knowledge to make the world a better place. In short, knowledge is humanity's greatest gift and curse. It has been present ever since we set foot on this planet, and how we use our knowledge will determine whether we will drive ourselves to extinction or flourish. Thank you.